school board to order. We'll start with the salute to the flag.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mrs. Crowley, call the roll, please.
Mrs. Dennis Clemens? Here. Mrs. Cullen? Here. Mrs. Dolan? Here. Ms. Kildare?
Here.
Mr. Kraus?
Here.
Mrs. Miller?
Here.
Mrs. Walters? Here. Mrs. Yardley?
Here.
Dr. Yarnell?
Here.
All right, we will start with student and staff recognition.
Good evening, everyone. Do we have Morgan and Josh here with us tonight, Mr. Ferry?
Yep.
Can I ask them to come up here to the front? Tonight we have the pleasure of recognizing two of the most accomplished student athletes ever to represent Penridge High School. Morgan Scott recently capped her remarkable scholastic swimming career with 2 more gold medals in the 100-meter and 200-meter freestyle events in state competition. She has won a total of 7 gold medals at states, 5 in individual events, and 2 in relays. She was also named Outstanding Swimmer at states. She has already accepted a scholarship to Indiana University. Like Morgan, Josh Stillings finished his high school career in style with a gold medal performance at states, winning the Class AAA title at 182 pounds and the Outstanding Wrestler Award. He is just the second wrestler in school history to win a gold medal. In addition to 4 trips to states, Josh won 3 Southeast regional titles, a school record, 4 District 1 East titles, and a pair of state medals, the 2nd place in 2017 and a 4th place showing in 2016. Josh will attend Drexel University in the fall, and we are so proud of these students. Let's give them a round of applause. Okay, may I have the students from the stock market game please come up? Please stand in the front. I can let everyone know what you've been up to. Okay, several students have shown an amazing ability to make a lot of money in a short period of time. They recently participated in the stock market game as part of their personal finance class with teachers Stacy Clemmer and Kate Granatino. Students were given $100,000 of virtual money to invest in real stocks, bonds, and mutual funds over a 10-week period. They worked together to build and manage an investment portfolio in a real-world dynamic marketplace where they analyzed and made decisions, explored consequences of their choices, and adjusted strategies to find success. The groups with the largest returns at the end of the game were deemed the winners. We had 7 groups finish in the top 20 of the state, including 2 in the top 10, finishing in 5th and 8th place. Our 5th place team in the state was the trio of Cross Edwards, Joseph Schreiner, and Colin Slider. They turned their initial $100,000 investment into $125,672.51. Our 8th place finisher in the state was a quartet of Sadiq Kuritan, Kevin Kwanyo, Kyle Shetter, and Tyler Sessa. They managed to increase their investment to $113,370.46. If anyone is looking for investing advice, these young men can certainly meet you in the lobby after the meeting. Students are also participating in the H&R Block Challenge game, which is an online simulation that immerses students in the life of a recent college graduate who has been working for 6 months. Each of our students has received a virtual salary and must make smart budgeting decisions regarding expenses such as rent, utilities, car payments, and more. Students receive bills on a regular basis and must pay them on time, while maximizing savings via a virtual 401k and minimizing penalties such as late fees, overdraft fees, or finance charges. The simulation includes realistic scenarios and monetary challenges such as a car accident or a lost cell phone. H&R Block will award $200,000 in scholarships and cash prizes to the top students nationwide in the game. So we will update you as the results come in, but in the meantime, let's congratulate these students.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Radigan. Impressive achievements by our students. The next item is public comment. Before I open the floor to public comment, Dr. Radigan would like to make statements.
Yes, thank you, Mrs. Yardley. Due to the fact that there has been a great deal of confusion and misinformation regarding the events of March 14th in Penridge, I thought it might be helpful for me to provide a summary. After the tragedy on February 14th in Parkland, Florida, students across the country decided that they wanted to do something on the 1-month anniversary of the shootings. The Penridge High School students were no different. They approached their administrators and said that they would like to leave their classrooms in solidarity at 10 a.m. on March 14th and walk around the high school track. They wanted to make banners with the names of the victims and read the names at the stadium. The student leaders made it clear from the start that their actions were not going to be in any way political. The administration was grateful that the students were willing to come to their administrators in advance with their ideas. At the same time, many people, including board members, began contacting me. Some felt that the walkout would be a political statement in favor of those who were pro-gun control. This belief was due to the fact that the walkout was being promoted by the Women's March, Youth in Power. Others contacting me felt that pupils should be allowed to participate and to exercise their First Amendment rights. At the same time, myself and the district office administration questioned the safety of such an event. After all, our high school field is wide open and backs up to the woods. Since many schools across the country would have students outside at 10 a.m. on March 14th, we were concerned if they would be soft targets. After having several conversations with the board and listening to feedback that they were hearing from the community, it was clear that the board members were questioning if any event should occur on March 14th. As such, further discussion was requested at a public meeting. The administration still wanted to honor the students' wishes to pay their respects to the victims. The student leaders decided that they would be willing to remain in the building and hold a silent assembly in 2 locations. The plan was for the students to be permitted to attend for 17 minutes voluntarily or to remain in class with their teachers. At the assemblies, a PowerPoint would be shown containing 17 slides with pictures and bios of each of the victims. The local police agreed to assist us and to have a presence both inside and outside of the high school. Wanting to honor the board's wishes and to show support for the students, I and the district administration offered the following options for students on March 14th at 10. Stay in class with the teacher and do homework or ask for help or enrichment. No new concepts were to be introduced if any student left the room. Attend the assembly in the location designated by grade. Sign in late with a parent or guardian note, meant for those who felt uncomfortable making the choice that day, and the lateness would be excused. Walk out of the building at 10 a.m. with a parent or guardian. or leave the building without a parent or guardian and receive a Saturday detention. After much discussion, the board supported this plan. The next day, I sent a letter to Penridge families explaining these options. Students were also given this information by way of the public address system the next day. It should be noted that the school handbook specifies that the consequence for leaving school without permission is a Saturday detention. The detentions assigned were in no way meant to punish students for exercising their First Amendment rights. They were strictly for violating a school rule. It is important to note that our high school houses 2,342 students. On March 14th, here is the breakdown of the students' actions. 49.4% remained in class. 34.2% attended the remembrance assemblies. 9.6% walked out to the flagpole. 6.5% were absent. 0.2% left the campus. 0.1% were tardy to avoid making the choice. I and the staff were extremely proud of how our students respectfully and maturely handled the situation from beginning to end. The student leaders who planned the assembly are being honored this week by the Penridge Regional Police Department. Since March 14th, myself, Principal Ms. Gina DeBona, her administrative team, and the board have been receiving numerous calls and emails. Although some have been in support of the district's actions on March 14th, most have been against. The messages against our actions have ranged from anger, to accusations, to disrespect, to hate, and at times, to threats. No one deserves to be treated this way. I wish to go on record stating that Ms. DeBona and the high school administrative team do not deserve any of the backlash for the district's decision on this issue. They have accommodated the direction that I, the district office administration, and the board have given them and have done so in a cooperative and professional manner. Their only goal was to work collaboratively with student leaders to find an honorable way to remember the victims from this tragic event. It truly saddens me that the district's actions regarding this event have caused such dissension in our community and have attracted such widespread attention. I believe that it is in everyone's best interest to put this event behind us and to focus on what is really important, the education of our students. Let us all put politics aside and devote our energy and our efforts into praying for and or remembering the victims and their families, and in collaboratively working to make our schools as safe as they can be, so an incident such as the one in Parkland never happens in Penridge or any other school community ever again.
Thank you, Dr. Radigan. All right, the Penridge School Board welcomes public comment. According to Policy 903, we remind everyone of the following. Public comment shall be limited to 3 minutes unless otherwise specified by the board. Participants must be recognized by the presiding officer and note their name and municipality. All statements shall be directed to the presiding officer rather than to individual board members, district employees, or members of the public. The speaker may speak once during each comment period. Please note that these sessions are designated for comments. To protect the confidentiality and privacy rights of all members of our community, the board encourages members of the public to direct any comments regarding particular individuals, such as students or district employees, privately to the superintendent or other appropriate administrators or board members, or to communicate with the board and superintendent privately by sending an email to psdschoolboard@penridge.org. Questions raised and not addressed may be followed up at a later time. Is there a sign-in sheet that the
I'll get it.
All right, thank you. So I'll go through the list. Each speaker will have 3 minutes. If needed, I will limit the public comment period at the beginning of the meeting to 1 hour for school board policy. So I'm going to start with these, and if we still have time within that hour, I will open it up to other people who wish to speak. So the first name on the list is Sue Furlong.
Sue Furlong, West Rock Hill Township. I have two questions. I was wondering if the district will be posting the 9-page Upper Bucks Tech School budget that was presented at the Finance Committee meeting on the website. And I would also like to know if the district will be posting the calculation to show the proportion each sending school will be paying towards the operating budget of the Upper Bucks Tech School. My second area of concern is, will the school district, tonight you're approving 3 extended contracts, and my question is, will those extended contracts be posted on the school district's website?
Okay, if I can, I will answer questions at the end of public comment after everyone has spoken.
Okay, those are my concerns. I have 2 right to knows here if the answer is no. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, the next name is Kenneth. I can't really read the last name. It starts with an
No.
M from Bedminster.
No,
Mill?
no, I don't beer.
Millick, okay, thank you. Miller, oh, sorry. I can't read it, sorry, thank you.
That's all right, sorry, my handwriting is atrocious. I have 2 concerns, really. One of them is,
Oh, I'm sorry, before you start, can you just state your name clearly and your township just before you start?
okay, Kenneth Miller, Bedminster. I have 2 concerns. One is on April 20th, that's the anniversary of Columbine, there is another proposed walkout. I don't know if Penridge is going to participate in it or not, but what is the board's policy? Will it stay the same, where parents will have time to take some time off work so they can accompany their kids outside, or wherever they decide to hold a rally? And it's an all-day event. Would this be called a school cut, and what would be the punishment for the students? My only other concern with this board is, reading all the reports that I've read and everything, is the board able to take their personal political beliefs and put them aside and think of the education of the students and the safety of the students? I disagree with the thought that a high school football field would be a soft target. Children leave the school every day at 2:30, pretty easy to tell, and you have high school football games, Friday nights, Saturday nights, still a soft target. I just disagree with it. I would like to see the board leave beliefs out. I think the students didn't really have beliefs in political, and I don't think they were pushed by an agenda like someone said. I think they really do have a concern. And they were very peaceful, respectful, no instances, and I'm proud of all the students, not just the ones that walked out. I'm proud of the ones that went to the auditorium, and I'm proud of the ones that stayed in their classroom, proud of the ones that stayed home. I have everything but love of Penridge. I don't think my son would have graduated without the great teachers and administrators here. This is a great school district, and I'm very proud of this one. Put a little black eye, and I'd like to see it look better, because I've got nothing but great things to say about this district. Thanks.
All right, the next name is Jim O'Connor.
Evening. Jim O'Connor, Percy. Forgive me, I've never done anything like this before, so if I stumble, please give me a moment. My children have attended Penridge since their entire lives. It's been a very important, very good school district to us. We've always learned about teaching them to be bucket fillers and to do the right thing, and how we're going to be proud, and how we're going to make good humans that are going to do good things in the world. in light of recent events with the protests, I feel that's been violated. It seems to me that we told them to do the right thing, and when they did, we threatened. We told them that we were going to punish them for making an ethical decision. I didn't tell my son to walk out that day. I told him that morning, we talked about it at length, I told him that morning that you do what you feel you have to do as a human and as a good person that I know you are. And I'll support you whatever you do. You sit in, you go out, it doesn't matter. Do what you feel you got to do. Now, he chose to go out. Because as he explained, he had to explain to his kids what he would do on such a day. Now, these are good kids. You got to honor students. You're punishing. You're threatening scholarships with detentions. It's beyond me that the school board would do this. Now, I'm told, and forgive me, I don't follow school boards very well. It's my fault. I should be paying more attention. But I'm told this is too bad egg on the board situation. Now, in researching that,
Sir,
yes, ma'am.
we're not going to talk, we can't, I don't want you to talk about individual board members.
I'm not.
Okay.
Bad egg as far as I'm going to go. Which led me to a Twitter feed that I found abhorrent and very anti-children. And I'm flabbergasted that it came from a board member.
Sir, please.
Now, my concern is that I had 7 other board members that didn't help us. And I need to know why they didn't help us from this problem. Other school districts had a problem, had to deal with this situation. They all handled it seemingly very well. And I understand you tell me that it was a soft target, but that really, I understand that you got to say that, but that doesn't fly. I was policeman for 12 years, man. It wasn't a soft target. You're a soft target technically every morning, like Mr. Miller said. That's just doesn't fly. And you can't tell me that you didn't punish them. You threatened them to intimidate them in. Sorry, that was me. Let me know I'm talking too long. My question is, all this has gone down. What can you tell me that would make me think that there isn't a reason we should be actively up here every meeting, every day, trying to make sure all the members are removed from this? It made us look pretty bad, and I'm embarrassed. Thank you.
All right, the next name is Kim Bedillion.
Kim Bedillion, Ferguson Borough. My name is Kim Bedillion. I am a Ferguson resident, proud mother to 3 Penridge graduates, and grandmother to a future Penridge student. I wanted to thank you, the board and the administration, for providing our students with a safe forum within the school so that they could process the Parkland shootings. I know there is a small but vocal minority who's criticized your well-thought-out plan because it included enforcement of the policies set forth in the school handbook pertaining to students who leave school grounds during the school day without the supervision of a guardian or parent, which I think is an important distinction that you made. Please rest assured that there is a non-vocal majority who supports your decision. Who is this non-vocal majority? We are adults who believe that protesting to get face time in the press or likes in social media is not the most important or effective way to make schools safer. Instead, we choose to research the issue, possible solutions. We ask questions of those who have more knowledge, who have age and wisdom that we might not have. We write our legislators. We get involved in the political process, and most importantly, we vote. The non-vocal majority doesn't have time sometimes to go to protests because we are busy going to work, to support our families, volunteering in our communities, and raising a generation to be productive citizens of good character. So while your ears may be ringing with the criticism of a vocal minority, rest assured, and I want to take this opportunity to remind you that there is a non-vocal majority who are larger and quieter that support your plan. But I have 2 questions I just wanted to be clarified, things I've been seeing in the media. Were there any board members present at the March 12th meeting when the plan was submitted who raised an objection to the administration's plan to enforce the school handbook's policy pertaining to students who chose to leave the school grounds without a parent vote. Is there any board member here who objected to that when it was presented March 12th? Who was there? That's my first question. My second question, just to be clear, was there any other plan presented at that March 12th meeting other than the one that we spoke about that went into place? Was there any other plan that was presented to the vote for objection or voting that meeting? Those are my two questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, the next name is Ed Mackhouse.
Yeah. My name is Ed Mackhouse. I live in Buckingham, and my son, who's an Army reservist, parents live in Percy, and I have a son who's was in the Army Reserves. My son-in-law went to Iraq, and my 21-year-old son is at Temple University. He's in the Marine Reserves. He can go overseas. And I respect this board for standing up to these terrible people who, your job is not punishment, your job is education. And I think your stand for the rules of the school and for this country is part of the educational process. I was a teacher for 10 years in one of those gun haters' paradises like New York City. I also taught in Camden, where I was born, the murder capital one of the murder capital of America, because of the gun control nuts who make it so that you can have you can have one of these darling children who has to be pampered and given everything he wants. It was 35 times he was threatening women, putting guns to their head, and neither the police or the school board would arrest him, and they'd keep the records. As a teacher for 10 years, they made it so you couldn't have the records of the things. I found out, I was in rough schools, found out from the parents that their child had been arrested or whatever. So the system is rigged. And we had an election of someone who has a dream, like Martin Luther King, like President Kennedy, to ask not what the country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. Well, we raised a generation of spoiled brats. And my students, my children, I told them flat out, we're not millionaires. We can't afford to do everything for you. You have to work. And now I'm proud of them. They're the top in their class. And I did attend the march in Doylestown. There's also another thing, 12 to 1:30, this Saturday coming up from Malik, who's running for Congress. And he's a Marine veteran, his wife's a Marine veteran. These are people that don't feel that everything should be given to them, that you have to work for things. The NRA and the National Rifle Association, the Jews for the Preservation of Firearms Ownership. I was explaining to these students that they save from 500,000 to 2 million people every year. People stand up for themselves. Women, 3-4 times more likely to not be raped or injured if they use firearms for self-defense. So these people are adopting policies that make women 4 times more injuries to them. So I think we need to educate the children better, and we should hire better.